Welcome to Keep It Real with Ana and Avarie. Special edition for the College World Series, our finals. And we've got Andrew Rogers here hanging out with us. Andrew, thanks for joining.
I'm excited. No, thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
So, you like my shirt?
Yeah, I was just going to bring that up. Andrew, you might go 3 for 3 on picking the winner. Got a Gomaha shirt on. Can you tell us about your 3 years of, I guess, correct picks?
Let's just say my ego is through the roof right now. I'm feeling fantastic. I have an outstanding bet on my friend's Gomaha. But it started with Mississippi State 2 years ago, and I did that kind of out of spite. I was working in the news, and I thought, you know what? If this team wins, my producer at the time was a big Ole Miss fan. So I thought,
naturally,
I'm going to rip off my button-up shirt on the air, which I did.
Wow.
And underneath was, it said, I think it was Oma Dogs. I think that's what it was.
Dogs, that sounds right.
And I had a Mississippi State hat on. So that kind of just started like a routine. I'm like, well, if I can do this one year, I can do it again. So when Tim Elko was here last year, I thought, oh man, the power of the stash. I'm gonna get the baby blue and be a part of Omaha. And then they ended up winning, and they shouldn't have won last year based on where they came into the College World Series. And so this year, I'm like, well, my buddy's an LSU fan, but I'm gonna base it off of the T-shirt design. Who had the best fun slogan? And LSU took it home.
Was it Oral Roberts?
Yeah, it wasn't Oral Roberts.
I wasn't a huge fan of Oralaha or whatever it was.
It was a pretty fun one, though. But all right, well, we've got Florida, LSU. Feel like this is a matchup everybody really wanted to see. So this is actually a rematch of the 2017 championship. Of course, Florida taking that. Last time LSU won one was 2009.
Which is
it seems
hard
weird.
to believe.
It's hard to believe. It feels like it's been sooner.
For both programs, like Florida's only won one.
Yeah.
And that was in 2017. And I feel like when you think of these two programs, you don't think that they're looking for a first title in that many years, right?
No, and LSU's a blue blood, probably one that you could consider a real blue blood.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people say, at least in our lifetime, we could probably decide who a new blue blood, but LSU for a while has been a blue blood.
Sure.
It's knowing that it's been over a decade since they've won one. Pretty crazy to see, but good on Florida. I think everybody slept on Florida throughout the entire tournament, so it's kind of cool to see them here too, because they just keep turning heads. I don't know why we did either. They didn't score a lot of runs. I think they only averaged about 5 or 6 runs from regional play on. So it wasn't like we saw with Wake Forest or even with LSU in certain games.
You don't have to be the flashiest team, though, to win.
I'll tell you what, you look out here, you see a lot of purple and gold.
Yeah.
You don't see a lot of orange and blue.
It's definitely a little home field advantage. I mean, if you saw the hotel team send off, just insane. The amount of people out there.
Go one bar over, you see.
It's at Rocco's. I mean,
there's no
over 30,000 shots.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Is that a lot?
I think it's a lot. I don't know how they're standing in there, but okay. So LSU has played 4 games in the last 4 days. Florida's only played 1 game in the last 5. So you also have to think about the rest standpoint, especially for those starters. Got Brandon Sproat on the mound for Florida, and then Ty Floyd for LSU.
Yeah.
Ty Floyd's obviously had to put work in, and then Brandon's gotten his time to rest. How crucial do you think that rest will play in? Does it matter?
I don't know how much rest actually matters at this point.
Yeah.
I think they're feeding off of each other, and the most recent success, it's kind of just it's piling over like a wave at this point. And with the pitch clock being implemented this year, everybody's moving at a quick pace. So I don't know how much rest often matters unless you're Paul Skeens.
Yeah.
Right. Will we see him in game 2?
Literally.
Will we see him in game 3 if it gets will we see him at all?
I know.
Because you don't want to hinder his career, but you also want to win, a College World Series. But Florida, I mean, if you look at it just from a logistical standpoint, I'd say yes. I mean, just knowing that you had a breather and you're coming in with fresh arms, fresh legs, but a day off for LSU yesterday too. Don't count that out for the position players at least.
I think there's 2 sides to it. I think obviously having the rest has been crucial that LSU doesn't have in terms of maybe not as strong as a bullpen. We saw them perform and pull it out, but maybe not as strong as a bullpen as Florida has. However, yesterday in the press conference, Kevin Sullivan was like, I'm actually a tad bit nervous about how much downtime we've had. We've had time for our players to just go sit and watch the games. We're kind of waiting for our turn again. And LSU's got back-to-back wins, and they've got an emotional win. They have
Tommy
the momentum on their side. Yeah.
Tommy Tanks.
So there's kind of an interesting point of view on that one as well. He's like, I don't want our players to lose that competitive edge, just because they haven't played a game. I'm sure they'll be competitive, no doubt, but just having that momentum of a back-to-back game. And what's it been, 2-3 days?
Since Florida?
Yeah.
Yeah, only one game in the past 5 days.
Right,
So they've had plenty of rest for sure.
Yeah.
Interesting tweet here. In each of the last 5 instances in Omaha, when only one bracket played its if necessary game, the team that played the extra game went on to win the championship series.
So LSU.
Yeah.
Right.
The extra
so
game.
LSU.
So I guess the shirt might be correct again. But
I hope history prevails.
Yeah.
Do you want to be on the team that just had probably the best game of College World, one of the best games in College World Series history, with Tommy Tanks hitting the walk-off and all of that momentum still going on, versus sitting at home in the hotels, I guess, and just watching? I don't know. I could see it going both ways, but
if I'm Florida, I'm feeling okay. I'm comfortable.
Yeah.
I haven't lost.
Exactly.
Right. So you're riding with a lot of confidence at this point. LSU's had to overcome a lot of adversity, and I think that's why people side with them throughout at least this journey, because I mean, number 1 pre-ranked team opening the year, the best major league talent on this roster, the most talented roster. But don't think that Florida doesn't know the target on their own back right now.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and how much first round talent does Florida have too,
Wyatt
right? Like, that's what's
Langford.
crazy. We have guys not even this year, but next year already. So it's like you look at it and you're like, okay, wow, like look at all the names on this one. And then you go to the other side and you're like, you can't forget anyone.
yeah.
The top 3 picks in this year's draft will be a part of these 2 teams.
Which I
we
love.
got the 3 Golden Spikes finalists in one game.
They didn't need to go anywhere for the ceremony. It's just have it right here in the hotel.
Oh, hey, guys. Actually, we're just going to do it right now.
Yeah.
You cool with
Exactly.
that?
It's really cool to see all that talent going to the MLB draft in Omaha, because I feel like we've kind of been deprived of that. At least last year, we didn't get to see as many draft picks come through Omaha. And I think it just adds an element to the game. Fans want to watch it more. If you've seen the TV numbers, it's been record after record. I can't even imagine how many people will tune in to these next 2 or 3 games. LSU fans, regardless, will be here showing out. But I love how it's just grown the college game, and players have decided to stay. I mean, look at Dylan Cruz, a guy that could have went right to the MLB out of high school, but decides to come and try to win a national championship with LSU, and one of the greatest college players in the game right now.
And you could argue, too, that having these big schools, these blue bloods in here, is really good for the college game for that reason, because you get the best players. Meanwhile, you look at, Ole Miss had a great story last year. Oklahoma had a good team, but they weren't fantastic. And so you're not really seeing the best players in, let's just say, the college game going through. And you get to the College World Series and you think this, like, most people aren't college baseball fans. So who am I going to attach to? Like, is this player going to end up on my team someday in the major leagues? Or maybe if I'm a kid who collects autographed baseballs, which I do, who can I focus on when I get to the stadium? Like, who am I? Is it number 14? Is it number 17? Who is it? Well, last year, you couldn't really pick anybody but the shortstop in Oklahoma, right?
Yeah, Peyton Graham,
I mean, as a starting pitcher, I can't even remember his name for Ole Miss. Good
Dylan
story.
DeLucia?
Yeah. He's not somebody that I was itching to get an autograph from.
Right. He's going his way through the minor league system, but there weren't any standout guys.
But the Hispanic Titanic, like that's somebody, Ivan Melendez was somebody I would have wanted to get.
Absolutely.
I think it's interesting because I think we always love an underdog story, and we love when a new team makes it in here. And I think we got a good mix this year because we had the Oral Roberts. We even had TCU's been here, but the team they had, the run they had. So I think we had our good mix. But I think because of how much talent was here, we're like, it would do college baseball a disservice if we didn't get to see like these final teams. Any other year, I think it's like, okay, cool. Like, I love seeing new teams make it here. I love that they're a program that's building, but because of who is like on the stage right now, it's we want this,
it's good for the game. Also, I want to bring up the SEC, all SEC championship. Is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? Or is it both?
I like it. I don't think it's a bad thing for college baseball, because the majority of people that live, breathe, die college baseball come from the South. And you can just see that just in numbers that we get here in Omaha. So we recognize that. I think I saw a tweet. Was it Thursday? That was the NBA draft on Thursday, because I ran this question by DB. I said, what do you think had better numbers? Was it the Paul Skeens, Rhett Lauder pitching duel, an elimination game to go to the CWS, or the NBA draft? And if it's me, I would say, well, it's got to be the CWS.
Yeah.
There's something that matters here. It's like it's a real thing.
Real implications on the line, right in the moment.
And meanwhile, you get Victor Wembanyama and some of the other, guys going through the NBA draft, and it's just like, okay, but now I'm waiting 15 minutes for the next pick.
Yeah.
But then the numbers come out, and the NBA draft blew the CWS out of the water.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't have had even 2 million viewers or whatever for college baseball if the majority of people didn't watch in the South.
Yeah.
So in a way, yes, it's a good thing. For us here in the Midwest, who want to see Nebraska back at this point, like I would like to see some variety.
Right.
But until then, if you're growing the college game, I'll take 2 SEC teams.
I wouldn't say it's been like we've had an SEC battle like 2 teams like every single year though either. So it's kind of like it's not like we're tired of it. It's like, okay, you know what, this is, Trey Morgan was like, this is why you choose to come to an SEC school. Like, it's every kid's dream to play in this conference because you're going to be the best of the best. So if we're going to have best talent at the end of the day, like, I mean, I don't know if we can complain about it too much. I mean, other than if this was like 10 years in a row, we're like, okay, if it was like something, right?
Football where Alabama, Georgia every year.
That's boring?
Yes, that's boring. I would not want that. But college baseball, I mean, we got to see Ole Miss last year, which was an incredible story. The last team in, not even supposed to be in the College World Series, win it all. I don't mind that they're from the SEC, right? But they're also competing against the best talent in the regular season day in and day out. So that's why they could be built for those moments.
Do a lot of people focus on that, though? Like, if they come from the SEC or not? Like, is that just an overblown narrative?
Maybe.
I just don't know if a lot of people, like, really sit back and say, wow, I can't believe I'm not going to watch now. It's just 2 SEC teams.
No, people will watch.
Yeah, people will watch.
I want a Big 12 team and an SEC team. Like, at the end of the day, I want to watch the 2 best baseball teams. And really, I want to see players succeed. And so if I get to see those players on the biggest stage, which is here in Omaha, I'm going to do that. And I'm going to make time to watch that, regardless if it's my team or not.
Yeah,
absolutely. I need your picks for
LSU.
I know, but I need game by game picks right now.
Do I have to give you the final score? Like,
honestly,
exact?
you have to give me the final score too because you're feeling really confident.
What's my exact score odds? Like 1,500 if it's like 6-4?
Probably.
Yeah. Let's see. Game 1, I will give to Florida.
Okay.
I think Florida wins this game by a score of 3-1. Okay.
Write this down.
I think it's going to be a low scoring game. Game 2, I'm giving to LSU because I really think the drama is going to build for a Game 3 on Monday.
Yeah.
Now I'm attending Game 2 as a fan versus wearing the badge inside, so I'm hoping Game 2 decides it.
Yeah.
Because I love seeing the celebrations on the field. But I think LSU takes 2, and then in Game 3 we go LSU again because we're going to see Paul Skeens pitch on Monday. Lock it in.
I think LSU is like, we just have to get to Game 3. Even if you drop 1, doesn't matter. Just get Paul Skeens out there.
Sad. The way their bullpen's pitching, they can easily do it.
So I guess I have a question then, because I saw a tweet and someone said, why do we make March Madness a whole month and like wait till another weekend for them to travel and give them off days, and then we make a tournament where there's individual talent that has to have rest, and we don't move it a week to have the final, so we don't get to have best on best. And I was like, okay, I understand that perspective. I guess your guys' thoughts on, because
that's baseball, right? You have to wait every 5 days to pitch regardless.
Right.
So if you just look at it from, hey, they play 3, 4, 5 games in a row. In basketball, you just don't do that. You play on a Tuesday, you play on a Friday, maybe then you play on a Monday or another Tuesday, and then, now it's a Saturday game. So you always have those built-in rest days. But for something like this, because you have such a deep roster, you can get away with having it back to back. And it's, like I said, it's just baseball.
I also think, I guess that probably goes to the point of like, that's kind of why you have to have a really great recruiting class of pitchers and go. It can't just be you at one guy and that's it. I know everyone wants to see Paul Skeens again, and I know LSU has arms to get them probably to a Game 3. But when he came off the mound the other day, him and Rhett Lauder both are like, no matter who wins this game, like we will not see these pitchers again in Omaha. Don't know if that's true, but to think about that, it's like, like that kind of.
I mean, we're looking at a guy that throws a 2-seam fastball, 99 miles an hour, that
effortlessly
moves like you're turning a steering wheel, like just skirt.
When he throws, like it does not look like he's trying hard.
No.
And I know you probably put a 7'5" man on the mound when he's like 6.
What is it, Victor Wembanyama?
Yeah.
Oh God.
I don't know if you want him pitching.
You put him on the mound, and all of a sudden, like their reach down the mound is like 10 more inches than, like, and so when he's just releasing, it's just like that was 102.
If you want to have some fun, go back and watch Steven Strasburg tape when he first got to Washington, and then watch Paul Skeens from last Thursday. They look the exact same.
Interesting.
I like that comparison.
I just hope he has a longer career than Steven Strasburg.
Yeah, for real. I think he will. I mean, he could get into an MLB rotation yesterday.
Skeens?
Yeah. I mean,
he'd be pitching for the Cardinals today, and we may have won.
Same with the Royals. I mean, he
Instead,
could pitch for any MLB team right now. It's insane. Ridiculous talent. We love it in Omaha. We asked every guest this. Andrew, what's the best thing you've seen in Omaha off the field?
Oh, man. Oh, well, I saw a couple of Tennessee fans get pulled aside for, let's just say, okay, so one kid.
What is the story about?
He was bawling his eyes out, and he's like running by Fan Fest, and it was during the national anthem. And so, like, when everybody's still and silent, and you see a kid just crying, and he's 20 years old, backwards white cap. He runs into a trash can. So I'm like, oh, this is where I'm following this story.
This is the best thing Andrew's seen.
This is going to be better. This is going to be better than the game. And they get pulled off to the side by 2 SWAT Omaha police officers who look like they could just eat me. And I'm like, oh, this is going to get interesting now because he's bawling. I just want to get to the game. This punch me in the eye. He's like throwing elbows with his boys. And then this one guy comes over, it's one of his friends, I think, and starts causing a ruckus with the cops. And then, one thing leads to another. He's screaming for badge numbers. And they, if they cross the street, they'll get caught with trespassing. And I'm like,
Tennessee's down bad.
This is sweet. Like, who would have thought
I just saw some Tennessee fans walking in, so they're back.
They are back.
This kid tried to sneak his way in, and then he was put in cuffs and walked out.
Oh, can't do that. Saw?
Well, yeah, this was a great story.
An altercation.
Yeah, that was so exciting.
Omaha at its finest.
It made my day watching 2 people that were probably underage like just get kicked out. Kind of funny. And then I saw him at Hooters later on that night.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah.
That's an amazing story. Thank you so much, Andrew.
Hey, thank you, Anna.
Yeah.
See, Avery, that's all you had to say.
That's a great story. Wow. It really came full circle.
You guys got that.
All right. Well, if you didn't know, Andrew, you're rooting for LSU. Avery, what's your pick?
This one's tough for me because I feel like since these 2 teams have been the longest, we've kind of like connected with them just like in passing and the coaches' conversations. But I think because of the emotional win we saw 2 nights ago, 2 nights ago, I think I have to go with LSU. But I love watching this Florida team play. Like, I love watching them play. But I think it's hard to go against LSU fan base right now and like feeling like you're engulfed in like an SEC environment. Like, I've never experienced firsthand. So I kind of just feel like that's where I'm at right now is LSU.
Well, you guys know I never bet against LSU baseball. So I will go LSU, and I did beat you and Stephen Shaw because you both had Wake.
Here's the thing: is I was
Florida.
I was picking with my heart for Wake, but my head was saying LSU. Florida. Heart was in the story for letting.
That's good that you followed your heart.
This is a classic case of my mind is telling me no.
Yeah. Well, this is me as a child choosing Husker football, so it's like my heart says we're gonna win.
You were knocking my story quickly. You were knocking my story, and then you guys saw somebody get pulled off the field the other day.
Yeah, but that was on the field. Yeah, that was crazy. We actually thought it was his mother.
No, we thought. I think we thought it was actually like a coach's wife because the way she was like running towards the coaches, and it was like a quick little. Paul Skeens.
But she did hug Paul Skeens.
He did go to do like a nice little hey. Oh,
it was kind of just like
he's like, yeah, this isn't the person I thought it was going to be.
No.
I saw your faces on some like
if it would have
channel. You guys were trying not to look, but I could see your peripheral vision.
Do not look. Do not look. Do not look. Do not look.
She was like actually parallel over the railing, getting thrown out by police officers. So she's not in attendance tonight. I imagine she has a lifetime ban from the baseball field.
Oh, okay.
I wish they would have camera would have stayed on me and Anna like a tad bit longer because afterwards I think all 3 of us were like,
I saw all your faces looking one way and you're like, please don't look right.
If I would have known, I could have just stuck my foot out.
All you wanted to do, the nosy individual inside of you was just like,
I need to see what's going on. Yeah. Oh, I had no shame in looking.
Just like me, how I was out here just staring down these boys.
I was curious. I was like, where are they going to put her? They're like pushing her through the dugout. It was wild. But yeah, don't do that, ladies and gentlemen.
After that night, Paul Skeens had a private escort off the field.
And that is why he has security.
Yeah, I'm sure he will have a private
and Paul
escort
Skeens
for a
both
while.
need 100% security.
Yeah, that was cool that you guys got to stand next to Libby Dunn.
She's awesome.
Did you guys feel like...
I felt pretty cool, not gonna lie.
It was kind of weird having that many eyes on you at one time. I'll be honest. I felt like just sitting there holding your cards. And I'm like, everyone's staring.
Yeah, there was a lot of people watching and taking photos, and I was like, so this is how she feels like all the time.
Yeah. No, they were taking photos of you, not her.
You think?
Oh yeah, no question.
I'm sure it was. Now people come up to me and they're like, "Are you the girl that?" No, I'm not kidding.
Wait a
dead
second.
serious.
You're the one that interviewed her,
Yeah,
right?
that was me. I guess so.
That's true.
Avery's like, I held the camera. Or
I
maybe
held
that
her
was
field
Sasha.
passes. I got her water.
Absolutely. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining.
No, thank you. This was fun.
It's a wrap.
Men's College World Series. I mean, this is a wrap. This is the show. We're all picking LSU. So
Is this your last
could be
show?
So now Florida's going to win.
So
Wait a
now this
second.
could be a meme.
You guys brought me on for the anchor leg?
Yeah.
All right.
Final words.
Go LSU.
Go Maha.